Simply Financial with Christopher Calandra, Certified Financial Planner, is an innovative, comprehensive, informative, and cutting-edge podcast that discusses financial topics ranging from personal finance, economics, politics, and personal growth. Simply Financial will cover intriguing and thought-provoking questions so that the listener can simply increase their financial IQ.
This is Season 2, Episode number 22 of the Simply Financial Podcast. Thanks for joining me today. I am your host, Christopher Calandra.
So I have with me today a special guest. I have with me Mitchell Levy, the AHA guy. I'm very honored that he joined us for this episode of the Simply Financial Podcast. He is an accomplished entrepreneur, a TED speaker, a best-selling author, having written 59 books. He also consults with CEOs across the country. His most recent book is Being Seen, Being Heard, and I want to introduce Mitchell Levy. Mitchell, thanks for joining me today.
I'm so happy to be a special guest.
So did I get your most recent book correctly, or did I mess up the title? I think I messed
Well,
up.
I've got I did this one for search engine optimization, not for a small number of words. Okay. So you skipped, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You skipped 5 words. You gave 4 of them. So it's it's called, and I've got a TED Talk as well and a book, and it's called Being Seen and Being Heard as a Thought Leader.
Very good. So you got all the powerful adjectives in there for your SEO. Good.
Exactly.
So I watched some of your videos and researched you quite a bit because we're doing this interview remotely. You and I have yet to meet in person, although we're going to in a few
I know.
weeks.
We're going to fix that. That's pretty cool.
What captured my attention, and Paul Matthews, who works with me and takes the lead and does an excellent job helping me put the show together, what captured my attention is one of the phrases, one of the many powerful phrases that you use, and that phrase is known, liked, and trusted. How to be known, how to be liked, and how to be trusted. So to start with, did you originate that phrase? Where does it come from? Did you get that someplace else? Explain that to me.
No, so by the way, you are, and I've done over 300 podcasts. You're the first person to actually ask me where that phrase came from. And because you did it while we were talking prior to the show, I Googled it to see if I could give you an answer. And unfortunately, there are so many people who use that phrase. So I would like to, I'll just give attribution to the unknown author who originated that. And when I was putting the TED Talk together, it seemed really obvious to me that that's where we're going. So the TED Talk, and for those that are interested, you just either Google Mitchell Levy TED Talk or go to YouTube, type in Being Seen and Being Heard as a Thought Leader, and you can watch that. And what I talk about is that we're transitioning from the social age – we are transitioning into the social age, from the industrial age to the social age.
That's right.
And when we make that transition, there are just so many things that are changed. And when I say the word we're halfway there. And you guys know when the industrial age started, it was what, 1920s-ish, and we're close to 100 years later, and we're halfway to the transition to the social age. So it's life and society in the world will change dramatically. And I was trying to encapsulate, if you do business in today's world, what is important? What is the most important thing to do business? And that's when I came up with that phrase. You got to be known. If people don't know you, they can't do business with you. You have to be liked, and you have to be trusted. And the like and trust was not something that was always in the industrial age. That was not as important. You did business with Henry Ford, and you bought a Ford car, and that Ford car was black because that's what he told you, right? But nowadays, you got a whole lot of choice.
So there are challenges with this, and I see this in my own practice, being a small business entrepreneurial individual myself. is that there's challenges in today's world given technology. There was a time, I think, I envisioned, I don't know if you share this vision, where you might have been the financial guy on Main Street in your town, and you were part of the local chamber of commerce and maybe donated to the Little League team. And, you know, you can do really, really well just in that small environment. But today, with social media and Facebook and being able to do business not just in your local town, but in your state, in your country, in certain industries, even internationally, there's a lot of challenges on how to become known, liked, and trusted. And there's also lots of opportunities. Can you talk to me a little bit about that vision on how things have changed?
So, Chris, you actually gave me about 3 or 4 questions there, and I wasn't sure which one to take. Could I ask you to narrow it down, and I'll
All right. So let's talk with social media and technology today. What challenges does that present for business owners, but also employees and salespeople and folks that are looking for work? What challenges does technology bring in trying to become known, liked, and trusted?
Got it. And one of the things I do, let me answer your question, and I'll do that. And then I'm going to say, hey, let's break those 3 pieces separately so that we'll talk about them separately. So what are the challenges? Here's what's fascinating. In the industrial age, and by the way, I loved your example. Yeah, if you're in a small town and everyone knew everyone else, this was even back to the agricultural age, right? You're in that small village. There was one candlestick maker and one baker and one, you go through and what happened is you just did business with that person, right? Because you knew them and you liked them and they were part of the bigger community family. And what happens is we now have, and also what was part of that, if you're going outside of that smaller community, what happened is we were told who our thought leaders were. So the broadcast media, the recording companies, the publishers, they told us who we were going to watch on the big screen, who we were going to listen to, and what books we were going to read. And so they basically cloned the thought leaders. And at the time what happened is those thought leaders were expected to know everything, and they were expected to speak, and when they spoke, their flock were expected to listen. And that's kind of what the industrial age was. Command and control, top level down, right? And what happens now is everyone who wants one, including the show, has a microphone. Everyone who wants one has a video camera. And by the way, video camera technology on your cell phone is absolutely fabulous, right? So everyone has a video camera. And so now those people who have something to say can say it. Now, the downside is when people are often given that camera and microphone for the first time, you're obviously not doing this, Chris, is very similar to what happens is, I don't know if you ever took a child, 3, 4, 5-year-old into a store that has an intercom system, and the guy behind the counter with the intercom thought the child was cute and gave your child the microphone. And you know what they said? Right? They said, "Hey, look at me, me, I can hear me." Right? And unfortunately, that's what many people end up doing with this microphone and camera. And it's kind of hard to be liked and trusted if people are just talking about themselves, right? And so that's why let's separate out the know, like, and trust. And because what we're sitting in now is we're sitting in an opportunity that if you have a story to tell and something to share, right? We're on your show, which typically talks about wealth and wealth creation and financial management. We're talking about today, you and I are talking about something else. We're bringing value to your audience by bringing in another topic that people are talking about, and that is, as a small business, how do you go about actually being known, liked, and trusted?
Understood. So is it also fair to say that there's tremendous opportunities with this technology that me and my main office, which is in Southington, Connecticut. My firm has 2 other offices, another one in Connecticut, and then one in Florida. But for our smallish, high-touch practice, kind of like you used to get in small-town America, I still have that same kind of ethos. But the opportunity now is with technology, I could reach people anywhere in the United States, leveraging technology to interact with clients in innovative ways. It's a tremendous opportunity that you didn't have in years past.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it really is amazingly beautiful. And so if we're talking about, let's say, the know, like, and trust, we'll spend a whole lot of time on the know. So let's talk a little bit about the like and trust. Well, actually, no, I'll step back. We'll first on the know, right? So let's say somebody comes into money and they realize that it's enough money they need to talk to somebody. Well, how do they find you, right? So if they end up talking to other family members or other friends who have money, they might say, who should I talk to? Because they accept that word of mouth. So now let's say there isn't anyone in their local family. What are they going to do? They're going to type in a phrase to their to their friend Google, and what's going to pop up is a whole series of either ads or other things. So it depends on the phrase that they typed in, right? So I just inherited money from my grandfather's death. What do I do? Well, by the way, that might be an interesting title for a book, because if somebody typed that into Google and the book popped up that had that title, all of a sudden there's the author of a respected element, a book, who's talking about the same problem that person particularly has, right? So the know part is, and we'll spend a lot more time on the know part, is how do you go about doing that? The other 2 pieces is going back to, and you said this, by the way, I loved it that you said this. You said the word high touch. My small practice in 3 locations have high touch. What that says to me is that you care about doing business in the way that we used to do business, right? And that's what's part of the TED Talk and the transition from, in the agricultural age, that's how we did business. We basically had a barter economy, and we traded with people who had other things we liked. We all knew each other. We hit this industrial age, and we didn't even know our neighbors. And now when we're getting back to the social age, what's fascinating is that we're getting to make friends. They just don't happen to be friends next door. They could be anywhere in the world. So during a particular day, although I physically may not leave, my office is in my garage, I may not leave my garage, I am going to travel to at least 2, if not 3, sometimes 10 countries, right? Because I'm talking with either customers or people on my staff that are around the world. And it's just part of how we do business today. So what I loved about what you said in high touch, it really deals with the elements of the like and trust. So I can't tell you, nobody can tell you how to be liked other than maybe mom or your grandma when you were growing up. They
Right.
said, do these things and be nice to others, and that's one way that people will like you more. So, you have to have your own personality. Everyone has their own personality. And if you're nice to people and friendly to people, it's a lot easier to be liked. What I said in the TED Talk is, if you actually listen to other people, if you're perceived as someone who cares about somebody else, it's a whole lot easier to be liked, right? And those people who are really likable are people who do a lot more listening than talking.
So let me ask you, Mitchell,
yeah.
because, I, as a small business owner, entrepreneur, I look at that phrase and the know part of the known, liked, and trusted, and it's quite clear to me why I would want to be known, right? Because I would like to have clients find me on social media and